time. Today we're going to go over what to expect when you get your first massage. A lot of people have a lot of questions about what do I expect, what's going to happen, how do I know that everything's okay. So when you first come into a session with me, I usually have you do an intake, which I'll show you a picture of that. As a client, you have rights, you have things you can and can't do, as well as therapists. They have things they can and can't do. If any of those rights are crossed or at any time you don't feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to end the session, as well as a therapist. If the therapist is not comfortable, they are more than welcome to end the session. A lot of people don't know that about massage therapy, so yes, it is your session. You can do with it as you please, but if at any time it is more nerve-wracking or more awkward or more stressful than it is for you to relax in the session, you're more than welcome to do that. It is your right to end the session. So on here for mine, I have, so you have the right to control the amount of pressure. A lot of people say that massage hurts. It should not hurt, and it is up to you to tell your therapist it hurts. Please lighten up, or it feels like you're barely touching me, please give me more pressure. You are more than welcome to say that. Your therapist cannot know what you're feeling. So with that said, don't feel scared or embarrassed to say, can you lighten up, or can you do heavier pressure? Or moving on to the next thing, I don't want you to work in that area. So say you are ticklish on your feet, and that's what you're nervous about for your first massage. You can say, don't work on my feet. That's perfectly fine. Feet or any other area of the body. You have the right to get your massage clothed or unclothed in whatever article of clothing you would like to leave on. You're more than welcome to leave that on as well. It is completely up to you. We can't tell you what to take off and put on. It's completely up to you. So say you, again with the feet, you don't want to your feet worked on. If you were to get on my table and you left your socks on, I would ask, do you want work in that area? If you were to say no, I wouldn't touch it. So if you do leave an article of clothing on, that gives us a kind of an alert to ask you about the area, if you still want work in that area or not. Say you aren't comfortable getting undressed and you leave your shirt on. There's ways that we can do massage without lubricants as well, but do massage while you still have clothes on. That is perfectly normal. It's no different than if you were in the mall getting a chair massage. You're fully clothed. So ways around all of that, all you have to do as a client is speak up. That's the most important thing. You have the right to talk or not talk. You don't have to share any experiences that you feel on the table. It may be something going on in your head. You don't have to feel obligated to tell us that. Some therapists can kind of catch or pick up on things and may ask you about it. It's your right to tell them or not tell them. It's completely up to you. Some people prefer to talk during their sessions. Some people would rather sleep and they don't want you to say anything. Either way, it's your session. You can do whichever way you would like to. Draping. So with draping, my statement is I only undrape the area that I'm working at the time. After I'm done working that area, I will redrape. So say I'm working your arm, I'm not gonna have your whole back undraped. I'm only gonna undrape that arm, and that's it. You're fully covered the entire time, other than the areas that I'm working on. So say I'm working on your foot, your whole leg, your whole side of your body. That's not usually how I do things. Not all therapists are the same, but I feel comfortable more covered when I receive and when I give. So I definitely cover the area after I'm done working on it, and everything else is covered usually if I'm not going into that area. Let's see, you have the right to terminate the session at any time. I do put that on here, and I have my clients sign after so they know and they're comfortable with saying whatever their wants and needs are for the session. So I make sure that all my clients know that you're in control of the session. We can do or not do anything that you please, or something. I mean, nothing's off the table. If you don't like essential oils, we don't have to use them. If you don't like lotions, we don't have to use them. If you don't like oils, you don't want your scalp massage because your hair is gonna mess up, or I don't like my feet done because I'm ticklish. doesn't matter. I say okay and I work around it, and it's your session. We go about it how you want to. Areas of the body. So with me, I usually do full body. By full body, I mean back, shoulders, neck, arms, hands, legs, feet, scalp. Some people do face. I only do face if you have something specific going on, and I usually don't do that with a lubricant just because I know people's face can be a little more sensitive than other areas. Say you have headaches, I'll go around here. Say you have sinus drainage, I'll do the sinuses. But or if you just like facial massage, I'll do facial massage. But it's not something that I do with everyone. Scalp I usually do with everyone unless they tell me not to. Glutes are a sensitive area for some people. I do not do that area unless there's specific reasons. So if you have sciatic pain or you're having low back issues and you know it stems from your glutes, I will work that area. I usually go over the sheet. Not all therapists do the same thing, but I usually go on top of the sheet. If I do underneath the sheet, you're draped pretty conservatively, and I do not use my hands. I usually use forearms or elbows or fists. I don't use fingers at all. And that's just my preference. I like to think that that is very comforting for the client. And if it's not, that is an open discussion that me and my client will have, and then we go about it from there. Yeah, so areas. Again, not all therapists will do the same areas. So if you are going into a session, I would encourage you to ask them what areas they're going to work on. And then at that time, that will be a great time to say, I do want you to do this area, or I prefer you not to do that area. It's perfectly fine for you to say, I just want waist up. I just want my head. I just want my shoulders. Again, it's your session. Whatever you choose to do in that session is perfectly fine and should be accepted by your therapist. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As I've been saying, all therapists are different, so you definitely want to make sure you get kind of some reviews on a therapist that you go to for your first time. Reviews on the therapist as well as the business that you're going to. Research and references are probably your best bet on trying to figure out what type of establishment it is. I'm here in Tennessee, so here we are licensed under the health board, so everybody has a license that is recorded and can be found on the internet. So if someone does not have a license, licenses should be mounted somewhere in the massage room, but that's a whole nother video. But yeah, those are things that you can look for the first massage if you're nervous about getting it or where you're going. That's a good way to scout where are good places or not so good places to go. The intake actually can be a good source of if you're in a good spot or not. If they don't have you do an intake, that's usually a kind of an indicator. Sometimes they won't have you do an intake every time. It's usually the first time you come, but that's usually to protect you when you're receiving. If therapists don't ask questions as far as health history or something like that, then usually that's a sign that you need to kind of look out for, because those questions and those intakes are for your protection. Hopefully this video helped you. If you are nervous about getting your first massage, this gives you a kind of idea of what will happen when you walk in, what questions you can ask, what to expect, and just, hopefully your first massage is great, you enjoy it. So hopefully you use your voice when you are comfortable or not comfortable, and that usually helps you have a good session. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all for today. If you have any questions, again, place them in the comment box below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.